Oh, hey guys. My name is RJ and wait. Huh. Down here, man. Down here. Oh, hey guys. Yes, I'm kind of bald. But again, I'm not Mark or an art teacher or anything like that. But in this video, we are going to follow along on Marc Brunet's latest video about dynamic poses. So if you haven't checked out his video yet, you can find that down in the description below. This is going to be a very chill video where I just share with you a time-lapse demo of me recreating the poses that Marc created in his video, while I make some commentary of the things that I've learned from him. Welcome back to my channel, guys, and if you're new here, my name is RJ and I'm a self-taught artist and animator behind Studio De Laron, a channel dedicated to sharing with you everything I'm learning about art, animation, and drawing. So let's get started. So here's a quick recap of what Marc shared with us about dynamic poses, and he really nailed this down in his video. So today, I practiced the actual poses he drew. I used my own shorthand or character proportion, which I learned by breaking down works by Andrew Cockroach. This kind of character sits between realistic and stylized, so I really like to practice drawing my characters in this sort of proportions. He started doing a very basic standing pose, which is not dynamic at all. And at first, I thought, am I in the wrong video? But then I realized that this was a good foundation to what he was making a point of. To my understanding, dynamic poses start with shifting the balance of the character, and this is something I've never really seen in other videos about dynamic poses. Most of the videos I see about dynamic poses are focused on gestures, and while that is very important as well, a good foundation of dynamic pose starts with balancing and grounding characters, especially if they are in a standing or idle pose. Obviously, this point is only applicable to the first level of creating dynamic poses, which is more idle. He also talks about shifting the direction of our character to really emphasize a sense of dynamic element to the pose. The last thing he talked about in level 1 is adding gesture in the pose, which we talked about earlier. The one thing I want to add in creating dynamic idle poses is making sure that your characters are grounded properly. I've been practicing drawing characters in perspective, so it's really important for me to ground my characters. I used to treat these practice poses as floating in the air and in paper, and now I realize that you need to be thinking where this character sits in 3D plane even if you don't actually draw the perspective in it. It really helps you to ground the characters and make sure that they're not floating in the air or anything like that. In level 2, he focused on creating action poses, which by itself is already dynamic. Action poses for me will always have some sort of a dynamic quality on it because of it being in the middle of a movement. Together with gesture, flow, and silhouette, these are the main things one must focus on in practicing dynamic action poses. Here, I am just really practicing to draw poses that he created in his video while keeping my style intact. I'll be honest here and say that my focus is mastering these proportions as best as I could and would love to be more loose in my drawings. These drawings are honestly taking longer than expected, but one thing I learned in my classes in Rad How To class is the idea of being okay with your progress as an artist. Being okay with where I'm at with my drawings and the process of becoming better is really important for my growth, because if I don't, then it will only get me stuck. Also, it's part of the process where you start slower with your drawings, and then as you progress along, you will hit the flow or flow state at some point, and this is really important. You need to do it long enough until you warm up. When I was doing these drawings, it wasn't until when I was doing the 3rd level until I got a state of flow and became faster in my drawings. So it's really important that you stay with it and surrender to the process of you drawing so that you can get into the flow state much quicker. So let's talk about level 3 in his video, which is all about camera, perspective, and foreshortening. Now, I still have to make a video about foreshortening, and that might be my next video, but for now, you can probably watch Marc's own video lesson about foreshortening, which you can find down in the description below as well. I also recommend this video by Draw Like a Sir, which breaks down the most basic idea behind foreshortening, but this indeed will really make your poses pop and be more dynamic. Foreshortening and placing characters in perspective, as I mentioned earlier, will really help you create dynamic poses. This is because the moment you apply these things into your drawings, you will start to feel like you are part of the space they are at. When you start to play with different camera lenses as well and apply those to your poses, you will start to see how even a simple pose can look more dynamic with just a shift of camera lens or angle. And again, I will create some videos about camera angles and drawing figures in perspective as well as foreshortening. So better check that one out and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss those videos in the future if you are interested in learning more about it from me. The last thing I want to mention about dynamic poses is references. And as Marc mentioned in his video, it's really important that we have some sort of references when we are practicing dynamic poses. Especially when we are just starting out. It's really important that we build our mental library about these things that we draw, especially the figure, because it's only through repetition of practicing with references that we will be able to get to the level where we don't need it anymore because we have stored that information in our head. So it's really important that you don't feel ashamed or embarrassed by using references at the start of your own art journey, because this is the things that you will really need in order for you to get to the level where you want to be. While it's very easy to just simply copy the poses from our references, just like what I am doing here, it's also really important to understand and engage our mind with what really makes a pose dynamic. This is why Marc's video is really helpful, because he points us to the direction of what we need to be thinking about dynamic poses. This video might be shorter than my usual videos before, but I just want to share with you some of my thoughts about how to create dynamic poses based from the things that I've learned from Marc Brunet. I also took this opportunity to show you my practice drawings as I apply the things I've learned from his video. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like the content I'm creating, feel free to subscribe, comment, and like this video. Again, I'll see you guys in the next video, and as always, keep on creating so you can make this world more beautiful with your imagination.